Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for being here. My name is Andrew, coming to you from the beautiful Carolinas. Today's topic is going to be how the narcissist keeps people stuck. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So keeping people stuck, this is one of the pivotal, instrumental things that the narcissist wants to do with their targets. They want to keep people stuck so many different ways, and many times the very fundamental way they want to keep people stuck is they want people thinking about them, meaning the narcissist needs to be needed. They want to live in people's minds rent-free, if you will. Now again, I'm not trying to trigger you or upset you, but remember, this relationship, the narcissistic relationship, it's unlike any relationship you've ever been a part of, because it wasn't as if when that relationship ended, you just grabbed a cup of coffee, you sat down, you discussed the ending of it, and you hugged it out and said, well, good luck, and I wish you the best, and off you went. No, that's not how it ended, first of all. These relationships end with a thud, a crash, a bang. They usually come out of left field. That is what a discard is. Or if you had to remove yourself, it wasn't easy. It wasn't like one morning you woke up and told the narcissist. Back then you didn't know they were a narcissist, but you didn't just tell them, well, I'll be leaving today, I'll pack up my things, will you help me? It doesn't work like that. That's why if you are in these relationships and you know that you need to get out, you have to create, develop, and execute an exit plan. So also, that's why another reason why these relationships are not anything that you're accustomed to is because when you were in the relationship with the narcissist, you experienced so much toxicity. Example, gaslighting, triangulation, the smear campaign, rage fits, mirroring, projection. You experienced the silent treatment and blame shifting and so many more things. But the narcissist knows what they're doing. They knew what they were doing when they met you. They know what they're doing right now if they're still gallivanting the globe, and they know what they'll be doing tomorrow. And you may say, well, what is that, Andrew? What are they doing? Well, what they're doing is they're trying to manipulate people. And they're trying to get people to believe in the mask, to keep people stuck, to keep people thinking about them, to keep people giving them more and more opportunities or more and more chances to change, to improve their poor behaviors, etc. You see, the narcissist is a taker. What they want to do and what they will do, what they've always done, is they will take and take and take. And when they're done, what will they do? That's right, they will take more. They will take whatever you give them. So frequently, when you were in the relationship, you would be scratching your head and you would be saying, why is it that I only have problems with this one person who turned out to be the narcissist? Maybe it was your spouse, maybe it was your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, bestie, your colleague, coworker. Maybe it was a neighbor or somebody, but you only had a real concern, a real problem, a real issue with this one person. Well, now you realize why, because these people are dark energy sources. They're shapeshifters, and they know what they're doing. When you were in the relationship with the narcissist, let's say that it was a romantic relationship and you would be in the house or the apartment, whether you were married or not doesn't matter, but many times the narcissist would be sitting right next to you and you would not be being talked to. Now, perhaps back then you would put a movie in or something on Netflix, etc., and you would say, hey, let's just watch this. And they would tell you, yeah, it sounds good. And well, they would put it in, and maybe they would give it a couple minutes of looking at, but then eventually they would always find themselves where? They would find themselves either in a different room or on the phone or making a call or receiving a call or laughing at a text or a meme or sending a text or a meme or being on one of their 3 smartphones or their tablet or their laptop or maybe even downstairs drumming up supply from the neighborhood. Who knows where they were, but they weren't with you. They were not mentally with you. So they were appeasing you back then. And there's nothing lonelier on the planet than when you are in love with somebody who turns out to be your worst nightmare, and they claim that they love you, and they know the buttons to push. They know what to do to get you to make you do what they want you to do. They can guilt you, they can blame you, they can gaslight you, they can give you the silent treatment, they can triangulate you. My least favorite thing these people do. They can do whatever they want to, because remember, you weren't taught this in school. So you didn't know what you were up against. You probably thought that a narcissist was just somebody who was looking at their reflection in a stream or in the mirror a little bit too often. Well, that's not even close to what the narcissist is. What the narcissist is a toxic person who wants to crush people's hopes, their dreams, their futures, their relationships, their health, their time, their soul, their money, everything about them. And you may say, well, you're being a little rough, Andrew. No, I'm not. If you've been in a relationship with one of these people, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The relationships are headed towards one place, which is called Destructionsville. The relationships benefit one person, which is not you. It's the narcissist. And these relationships only deteriorate over time. They do not improve. So you may sugarcoat it, or you may have sugarcoated it when you were in it. I understand that. I know what it's like. Perhaps you were romanticizing the relationship, making excuses for the narcissist and tolerating their poor behavior. Well, back then you didn't know what narcissism was. So that's what we did. Now we're getting the wisdom. Now we're applying the tools that we're understanding and that we are acquiring on the narcissistic abusive cycle. And now the onus is on us to do what? That's right. To get unstuck, to heal, to protect ourselves, to have boundaries, to go no contact, to block the narcissist, delete them, remove them, and all fly monkeys and people associated with them. You see, back when we were in that relationship, we didn't know anything about narcissism. And we fell in love with the mask. We fell in love with the idea. We fell in love with their words. But their words never matched up with their actions. And it's so easy for anybody to say A, B, and C and actually do X, Y, and Z, hoping that you will forget about it, hoping that they can gaslight you into believing that your reality wasn't the truth. And these are just two or a few of the master manipulating techniques that the narcissist administers to people. But now you know, and now you understand, and now you can identify gaslighting from a mile away. You can smell toxicity from 10,000 miles away. You can now see people's behaviors, and you can watch their mannerisms, and you can listen to people at dinner parties or barbecues or holiday events or birthdays, etc. And you can watch exactly how they behave and how they treat their spouses or how they treat the other person on the other end of the phone. Now, example there would be, let's say that you're at a barbecue or an event, and there's somebody that you know, or maybe you just met them, whomever, and let's say that they're on the phone and they excuse themselves from the conversation with you and they say, I'll be right back, I just have to take this call real quick. And they grab the call and then they go in the corner or whatever, and you're talking with other people and everything, but you just take a glance over and you see that person maybe getting beet red and explaining themselves, maybe stomping their foot or banging the wall a little bit, and you know that something's off. You know that the person on the other end of that phone is trying to control the person you're just communicating with. The person hangs up the phone. A few minutes later, they put themselves back together. They come over and say, hey, sorry about that. I had to take that call. It was my spouse or whoever it was. And you're like, well, okay, that's great. Everything good? And they're like, oh, yeah, everything's fine. They just wanted me to pick up something on the way home from the barbecue. They wanted me to pick up some peanut butter or pick up a pizza on the way home. And everything's great. Never been better. I'm the happiest person on the planet. And you would be scratching your head and you'll be saying to yourself, should I say something? Should I not? Is that person really the happiest person on the planet? Or were they just being manipulated and the phone was being used as a remote control to blow up the event that they are at with you? There are so many nuances and layers upon layers upon layers of the onion to be peeled back in the narcissistic abusive cycle. That's just one micro layer. But remember, that probably was you at one point. Think about what I just shared with you. Why was that person's spouse or romantic relation, why were they not at the barbecue or the party with you? That's question number one. Number two is, why were they trying to blow up that event for that person? Number three. Number four, why was that person, or whatever, number two or three, whatever number I'm on, why was that person making excuses for their spouse or partner? One will never know. But number five, or whatever number I'm on, you've already been down that road. You know what it's like. You can identify toxicity. You can see the signs, and you can use your discernment to figure out, wow, that is absolutely not a place where I want to be, because you once were there. Each and every one of us were in a place that we did not even know existed, which is not only the narcissistic relationship, but it's the narcissistic fog. That's when we were in that zombie-like, trance-like state, existing, working for the narcissist, picking up that pizza, picking up that peanut butter, having our day or barbecue or event that I was just talking about be blown up, but yet put your game face on and act like everything was puppies and rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. You see, that's what we did. We made excuses for the narcissist. We believed we were in a good, healthy, stable relationship. We did whatever we could to put out the fires the narcissist would throw at us. And that's before we had the wisdom. Now we understand things. We understand exactly what toxicity is, and we want nothing to do with it. That's why we have boundaries. That's why we can say no, the strongest word in the English language, etc. And all these things that we've wrapped our heads around and we've processed and put ourselves back together by learning these things and actually practicing radical acceptance and understanding that this relationship wasn't our fault. It was a ticking time bomb. It was a sinking ship. It was a relationship built on quicksand that was going to end one way or the other, because each and every narcissistic relationship does have an expiration date. But when we wrap our head around these things and we say to ourselves, wait a minute, I was that person once. I was stuck. I was having my phone be lit up day day, morning, noon, and afternoon. I was experiencing or tolerating rage fits and texting wars and ghosting and verbal abuse and everything. But now you don't do that, because now you have calmness. Now you have serenity and peace and abundance. And now you have a very small circle of people that you allow into your life. Now, each and every one of us were and or are on the healing path. And remember, the healing path is not linear. It takes time. It takes a lot of time, but in your time you will heal if you use and utilize the tools that are provided for you here on the channel and in the community. Nothing ever will resolve the narcissistic abusive cycle, toxicity from your soul, from your aura, from your pores, other than the deep dive. You can't take a magic pill and you can't wave a magic wand. You can't put band-aids over this. You can't get back out and start dating immediately after the relationship ends. It will never benefit you. You need to slow your life down. You need to process things. You need to insulate and protect yourself in that cocoon of boundaries. You need to heal childhood wounds, see a therapist, meditate, read, watch videos. You need to journal. You need to do so many things, which is exactly what I had to do. And many of those things I continue to do each and every day. And I would strongly suggest you do the same. You see, we are all on this planet called Earth, and we are all doing the best we can do. People that were in the relationship, excluding the narcissist, of course. Those of us that have been in the relationship and we've come through the cycle and we've put ourselves back together and dusted ourselves off by the bootstraps, we now know what it took for us to enter the relationship, to stay in the relationship, to exit the relationship, but most importantly, to put ourselves back together. And we are not stuck any longer. We are not ruminating. We are not pining for the narcissist, not trying to be funny with the pine trees behind me. We are not giving them chances. We've gone no contact. We've accepted who they are. We don't want anything to do with toxicity any longer. We don't agree with their behaviors, but yet the narcissists, they will continue to do whatever they want. They won't change. They won't introspect. They won't be accountable. They can't elevate or ascend. All they can do is continue to put on a new mask for new unsuspecting people who don't even know what narcissism is. But this is exactly how the loop goes around. It's how the cycle will continue. The one constant in the narcissistic abusive cycle, it is the narcissist, and they know it. And they know that they don't want to change, because for them to change, it would mean they would have to be accountable. They'd have to look back at all the skeletons in their closets, and they'd have to look back and say, wow, I really blew up that relationship with my child. I blew up that relationship with my spouse. I blew up that relationship with my mom and dad. I blew up these relationships with the people I used to work with. I blew up these relationships with the neighbors and the communities I used to be a part of. I am a ticking time bomb, but you know what? I don't care, because there are so many people on the planet that I can abuse. That's what the narcissist will say to themselves. But believe me when I tell you, the narcissist will get their day. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but in time they will get their day, because each and every one of these people, i.e. the narcissist, they have to pay the piper eventually. You can't go through life blowing up people's hopes, dreams, aspirations, health, relationships, goals, and futures without there being a very big, and I mean a very big price tag to pay. And that's what the narcissist will have to deal with. But remember, they also have to go to bed in their tiny little pea brain every night, and they have to wrap their head around that, yeah, people are acknowledging and people are recognizing and finding out who they are, and people want nothing to do with them more and more each and every day, and people are blocking them, and people aren't tolerating the poor behavior any longer. But getting back, why the narcissist wants you stuck, it's because they will feel important. They will feel way more important than you. They will feel needed. They will feel in control. They will feel powerful. Some of the ways the narcissist would want you stuck would be when you had a child with them or children with them. The custody battles, well, that's keeping you stuck right there. The legal system, battling the legal system's another one, how they'll try and keep you stuck. With financial discovery, meaning perhaps you had to hire a forensic accountant, etc. Well, they're keeping you stuck there because they're hiding money. Yes, they all hide money. Almost each and every one of these people hides money in multiple different ways. But doesn't stop and end there. What about all the shell companies and the shell businesses they have that you have to discover? What about all the relationships that have been blown up, that your support system that you no longer have? Well, that's keeping you stuck also. You see, what the narcissist wanted to do was essentially take all of the best of you, have you stranded on that desert island all by yourself without food, water, shelter, or anything. And they wanted to see if you would make it, if you would survive. And honestly, there were many times, many days that you didn't think you would make it. But guess what? You did, because you picked yourself up by the bootstraps and dusted yourself off. And slowly, each and every day, you got stronger. Slowly, each and every day, you became unstuck. Slowly, you began to realize that the narcissist never loved you. They never cared about you. They don't care about anybody other than themselves. And slowly you practice radical acceptance. And slowly you realize that, yeah, maybe you'll never see the kids again. Maybe you'll never see the stepkids again. Maybe you'll never be able to live in that house, the dream house that you owned. Maybe you'll never be able to live in that little town that you lived in for 21 years. Maybe that city or state won't mean the same to you any longer. Maybe you're gonna have to change your email address, your phone number. Maybe you're gonna have to relocate altogether. Maybe you're gonna have to start from scratch. But whatever you have to do, if not all of those things, you have to get unstuck. And the way to get unstuck is beginning with going no contact and blocking the narcissist. Now, it's not as simple as that. It's not as easy as that. And it doesn't mean right when you go no contact or you block these people that everything magically returns to you. It doesn't work that way. Going no contact and blocking them will be a very challenging thing to do. But when you do it, you'll realize your energy returns, your health returns, your clarity returns, your mind returns, your focus returns. So many things of your day-to-day life and activity, they return. And they won't return in 1 minute. They'll take a couple days and then a couple weeks and months, but slowly you'll put yourself back together. That's exactly what I had to do. And the challenge here, post-narcissistic relationship, it's to realize and wrap your head around the fact that a person who told you they loved you, or perhaps even professed that they were in love with you, never loved you. That's part one. Part two is wrapping your head around the fact that narcissism does exist. And yes, you were in one of these relationships. Number three is that there will be casualties of the relationship littered and sprinkled all throughout the relationship, and certainly post-relationship. Like I mentioned, maybe you'll never see the in-laws again, or maybe you'll never see the kids or stepkids again, or maybe that you had to say goodbye to that town or city or state or country, etc. But all these things will add up into your return to prosperity. This is where the doors of abundance open up for you. It's where the doors of opportunity are kicked wide open, and the doors of possibility are endless. But none of these three things will ever happen if you're still tethered to the narcissist, if you're still giving them chances, if you haven't blocked them, if you haven't received the message, if you're still blaming yourself, if you're still stuck, if you're still feeling guilty or feeling bad for the narcissist. Think for a minute, and this is going to be a very, very difficult pill to swallow, but think for a minute. Does the narcissist ever, or did they ever feel bad for you? No, they didn't. Do you think they feel bad for anybody? No, they don't. Do you think for a minute that you feeling bad for the narcissist will help them out at all? No, it won't. All it does is it keeps you stuck thinking that you can help the narcissist out and you can improve their life or elevate them, etc. You already tried that. It's futile or futile, whatever word that is. It doesn't benefit you, and the narcissist never even appreciated it. They took you for granted. They looked at you as a pawn and a puppet. They looked at you as a pauper. They looked at you as an indentured servant. They looked at you as somebody that they could take advantage of and then crumble up like a sheet of paper and throw away in the freeway once they took whatever they possibly could from you. So giving them more chances will never benefit you. Thinking that you can help them will never benefit you. Staying tethered or stuck to them will never help you. Understanding that you are the priority, that you come first, second, and third. That's the path. Blocking these people is the path. Realizing that they can't change, they can't elevate, they only deteriorate. That's the path. And understanding one thing, yeah, I saw that squirrel back there, it's beautiful. One thing I want to share with you is the narcissist wanted to keep you stuck as long as they possibly could. When that relationship ended, remember, you never got closure from the narcissist. The narcissist just slithered away onto the new supply. They never explained anything. They never told you who they were. They never told you exactly what they did to you. They never told you that there was a master plan behind the scenes the whole time to take away your health, your business, your house, your money, your relationships, your job, your clarity. They never told you any of that, but that's what the narcissist did. That's what they're doing right now, and that's what they will always do. So why the narcissist wants you stuck or wants to keep people stuck? It's because it pumps up their little tiny fragile ego, makes them feel better than, it makes them feel important, it makes them feel powerful, it makes them feel in control. And when you were in that relationship, or even after the relationship ended for a period of time, you believed still that you were missing the narcissist. You weren't missing the narcissist. You were missing the bill of goods you were sold when you first met them. You were missing the mask. You were missing what they presented to you, which never was a real person. You were missing the person that promised you the sun, the moon, and the stars and everything in between. But that person, again, all they wanted to do was trap you. They wanted to keep you stuck in a relationship with them while they were off looking for your replacement or replacements. You see, the narcissist wanted to keep you trapped in that quicksand. They wanted you spiraling downward or staying stagnant. They did not want you elevating or ascending or growing or finding your higher purpose. Because if you did that, that would be too much of a threat to them, because the narcissist was in competition with you. They were in competition with their own kids, with their own parents, with their ex-spouses, with their besties, with their friends, colleagues, coworkers, people in communities. This is what the narcissist is. It's what they are. It's what they always will be. They are a petulant child. They are anxiety riddled. There is no substance. There's no core. There's no originality to the narcissist. All you have with these people are mimickers. They're smoke and mirrors, and all they want to do is take the best from people, throw them away, get a new person. Throw it away, get a new person. That's why the narcissist changes relationships the way you change your shoes. And yeah, I'm sorry to say it's a tough pill to swallow, but it's what they do. That's why you need to get unstuck, and that's why you need to get the message that the narcissist will never change. They never loved you. They never cared about you. They care about nobody, and they did want to keep you stuck. That's why the path is to go no contact and to understand that getting as far away from these people as you possibly can, it will benefit you. It will benefit you greatly. And that's when all these doors of abundance, possibility, and opportunity will be kicked wide open for you. Once you've healed, and you've healed properly, and you've reached that pinnacle of indifference, the mountaintop of indifference. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the squirrel-filled Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning, no matter where you are on the planet. You are not alone. Remember that. You are not alone. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. And remember, think about how many times you were stuck in different ways or different areas of your life. Maybe you went to the beach and you got your truck or SUV stuck in the sand. Well, you were stuck, but you got unstuck, right? Yeah. Same thing with a math problem. Maybe you were in 6th grade and you couldn't quite figure out what geometry was or algebra, whatever kids take these days. You couldn't figure that out, and then a tutor or a teacher came around and said, hey, check this out. If you do the problem this way, you'll get the solution. And then you're like, oh my gosh, thank you. I'm not stuck. I get it. Thank you for teaching me. All right, that's good. Other ways, maybe you're trying to open up a jar of peanut butter or pasta sauce and it was stuck. Well, what did you do? You found a way to unstick it or unstuck it and get it open. Boom. All right, it took you a couple tries, but you used your elbow grease and it got unstuck. Well, apply those tools to the narcissistic relationship and to the narcissist in general. Yeah, those are micro examples, but the whole point is you got unstuck with those things. You need to apply the fundamentals of what I just shared with you with the narcissist. You need to get unstuck. And yes, it takes a lot of work. And yes, it takes a mountain of work. And yes, nothing's going to happen overnight. But you need to understand getting unstuck is the path. The narcissist wanted to keep you stuck. You need to get unstuck. And before I close the video, you have to remember this one. If you say black, the narcissist says white. If you say up, they say down. So if they want you stuck, what should you want? That's right, to get unstuck. I love you all. God bless you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.